I can continue to sit and believe that I don't have free will, and I can sit and believe it and say I don't have a choice. I can sit and say, well, I'm a woman, and because I'm a woman, I can't. I can sit and say, well, the moon is in full moon, and so now I'm gonna go like howl and like cause a havoc in my community, or I could choose not to. I think humans complicate things, and I think that we get so on so many for so many like things. Like we have so many influences. So like primary caregivers, environment, social circles, and all those things. So we have like this world around us in which we choose to operate in. We've all decided that we are going to be playing the game of this system. Sometimes the system isn't going to work for us, and we just sit and play small, and we get told like, well, if you don't have this, you can't, you know, like the saying, it takes money to make money. Not necessarily. I had $1 and now I have 100. I'm being flippant a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a feeling we'll be all over the place.
It's going to be the best podcast anyone's going to listen to right now. Guys, we are live and I'm here with Heather, and it's going to be a great journey. Heather was just sharing with me before we clicked live that she's tired, she's irritable, she doesn't know why, and she said she doesn't usually blame these things, but she's picking the moon today. And I had asked her before I clicked live, and I knew that this is going to be a great topic for everybody.
It's going to be highly controversial, I'm sure.
Well, it's going to be so good, though, because that's where, you know, I feel like a lot of people have had these things that we just say, but then we never really think about them or like digest them or like really have any merit to any of it. And then it just like lays there instead of like any responsibility or direction. And a lot of like what I would hope people get from my podcast is eventually is like the understanding of how your psychology and your individualism ends up impacting like the community and how we function as a whole, and then just working our way into like how does that end up impacting like generations, the legacy aspect of that, right? Like that we always, I feel like now we hear, because we're so trauma informed, like you're breaking the trauma cycle or the generational trauma or like all this stuff, but it's like, are we just creating different kinds of trauma, or like what's happening in our lives, you know? everything is different. So I feel like the topic about the moon or like mood swings or any of that is like my favorite to probe people on, like, what controversy can we talk about?
Yeah, so I'll even back up for what I even said. Yeah,
Yes,
so I am all
me.
that. Excuse me.
Oh no. Don't get choked up about it.
I know, it's the moon. It's the moon. I don't even really remember what I said. You asked how I was, and I said my back hurts, I'm crabby, and I'm tired, right? And it's funny because then you introduced it as irritable, which brought up a topic that my husband and I just talked about yesterday, because I said crabby.
Oh.
And then I'm like, I don't know, I've just been so irritable. And he's like, what's the difference between irritable and crabby? I'm like, oh, so so I Googled it. Because I will be the first one to profess, I know nothing about a lot of stuff. Everything is just, you know, opinion. I'm not an expert in anything. So I had to look, and I really don't remember what it said. That's part of my brain fog too, the moon. But basically, it's like crabby's the behavior. It's like this whininess, right? But irritability is the overall umbrella. And then there's little things that fall underneath that. And so I'm like, okay, so no, really, I am irritable because I can be angry too in like 2 seconds flat and all that. So it's more than just crabby.
Well,
And then go ahead.
I was
No,
gonna
you go.
say, as a therapist, as a trained professional, I clued into the word irritable even though you didn't say it, because you had such a list of things that you were upset about.
See?
Yeah.
It's an umbrella term.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, and then my back hurts, and I have no idea what that's about because I did absolutely nothing to hurt it. However, I have to introduce you to someone, and she's the acupuncturist I've been seeing lately. So we've been This also could tie into like my mood because we're like draining a whole bunch of like energy stuff. And it's been a wild ride, but she'd be a fascinating person for you to connect with. I just met her and I feel like we're BFFs already. So she's great. But then, yeah, so I was blaming the moon. And then I said, okay, I really know nothing about the moon, which, okay, I know a little something about the moon. I've dabbled in astrology, I've dabbled in science and like how the moon affects us and water and all that kind of stuff, right? But I'm not one of those people that will typically say, like, oh, it's the full moon. So that's why I'm feeling this way, right? Or I'm not, what was the other example I gave?
Mars
Oh,
is in retrograde, or
no,
what's in
no.
retrograde?
Mercury.
Mercury. I I don't dabble
Between
with
the two of
Mercury.
us.
Yeah.
No Mercury. But then I'm like, well, okay, but that's fascinating. And yes, we can have the understanding of how these things do impact us.
Hmm.
But that's the gift, right? That we can say, like, okay, this is how the moon impacts me, or this is how Mercury in retrograde impacts me. But it doesn't, in my opinion, give us the free pass to be assholes, is what I said. And then that's when you
Yes.
decided, let's start this talk.
Yes. 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 Because I think that is so great. Like, yes. And what comes to mind for me and just my background is like, I feel like so many times now, as like such a knowledge based society, we always hear, oh, well, they struggled with PTSD, or they struggled with anxiety, or they struggled with this and that. And it's like their clinical diagnosis now gets to be the excuse for why they get to like act out and misbehave, or be some type of way. And it's like, I don't just get to say, well, it's because I'm a woman that 1 week out of the month I'm killing people. Like, that's not there's still
Right,
like
right,
consequences to my actions. Those things are still
right.
there.
Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you. Ugh, yeah. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that just really thinks like, no, like it is the moon's fault. I'd love to know what you would say to that in a session. If someone came to you and was just like, it's the moon's fault, the moon made me do it, what would you say?
Um, I I think we would need to have a deeper conversation about the lack of feeling of control, right?
Ooh,
Because you could even replace moon with like my hormones, right? Even if you just brought it back more down to like women can't control our hormones, right? And once a month we do have our womanly cycle, and we do have, where I just feel like I can't control any of it. My back hurts, I'm tired, I'm here
I have no control over this, I'm telling you.
control. I absolutely, but there are a lot of things that I can do to feel like I have control, right? Like I might take a little bit more time getting ready so that I take a hot shower, or that I'm going to eat my favorite foods, or I'm going to make sure I have a lot of self-care, right? Like any one of those things that allow me to bring back the center of control to myself.
Yeah. No, I love that. And that brings me to something that I think about and I talk about too, like in my realm of the world, like just the energetics of things. Like these are all symptoms of something. So what is my body communicating with me? That's what in all seriousness, right? Before I was joking. I like to joke. I do have a sense
Yeah.
of humor. But the seriousness is like my body's communicating something with me. And so what is that? And like let's get to the root cause because it's not the moon all by itself, right? Like,
I think
yeah,
full moon is a good one to blame, because it's really, I think a lot of women have their timely cycled with the moon, right? Like the
yeah,
length of our periods and the length of the moon cycle ends up being along the same similar time frame,
yeah.
right?
Which, I don't even know where we're going with any of this, but that just popped in my brain of
Tell
like
you.
how magical our bodies are. Like the woman's body,
Wild.
wild is
Yeah.
a really good word. Like we are magical. And
Yeah.
so why was I brought up? And I'm not blaming anyone, right? But I think it's that kind of
That
like your
energy.
legacy thing and like the things that we like we pass on, right? It's like this idea that I don't know, I can just so many things are going through my head. Like the one, is like kind of like what we're talking about with like menstrual cycles and stuff. It's like, okay, that's horrible. You're somehow you're I don't know. I don't even know the BS that I can't even think straight right now. But all the things that we get told about being a woman and like how we are less than or how, like all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, we got this all backwards because we should be praised just like the moon. Like we're that powerful. We
Yeah.
need this. So
Yeah.
we need women.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And I just think that it's very interesting when you can really put, especially when you start to put together, like, I feel like, especially, I would say, as Christians, in my experience, they get very defensive once you start introducing something that's not of like God and Jesus is the answer. But it's like, if you were to just look at the whole picture here, we're all very, very much like connected, and the ideas are not far from each other.
Right. Here's another thing. Speaking of that,
Tell
how
me.
did you ever read the book The Red Tent?
No, but is that the, I hear a lot on the internet, obviously. I think people do. Is that the one where like there used to be a time where all the women would be able to go to a tent when they're on their menstrual cycle,
Yeah.
and then like so they're away from society and then like rejoin when they're done?
Yeah. So exactly. That's exactly it. And I read this like decades ago, literally. I don't even know if my kids were born yet. Maybe they were. I mean, it was like a long time ago. And I remember hating that book. I'm like, this is what? This is crazy. Like, why would we send these women to this tent? However, here's that thing, right? Like, just taking a different perspective of like what the messaging was in that. And now I'm thinking to myself, maybe we had that, maybe when I read that book, I was reading it so wrong because now I'm thinking, how empowering would that be if we got a
Yes.
whole bunch of women together
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sat underneath this tent and joined in community and like I don't know, I could think of like a bazillion things that I never had the conversations with my mom about this. And so now you've got all these other women,
Yeah.
and especially now that I'm 50 and I'm going through another transition in life, right? As a
Yeah.
woman. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's bananas. And it's like, I want that red tent because I want to talk to someone and I want to know what the hell is happening, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
from a different perspective, I don't, like real women. I don't want to know what the textbook says or the internet. I want to know, like, what's your experience?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is like so important for us to have conversations around. I want to highlight you saying not the textbook or the internet or like any of that stuff, because I feel like we have done a disservice at being how honest about like research and what we all know about women's bodies and how they're functioning and what all goes on, because I really genuinely feel like there's no way, like, I don't know if you've heard about this, but like the whiny woman syndrome or whatever, that like doctors end up like labeling women like older than 40. It's like everything hurts, nothing's right, and it sucks, and they just label them as like the whiny woman, like the
Wow, I've
WW.
not heard that.
Yeah, and but it's like it's because they don't know. They don't know anything. And there's like, there's so much that we don't know when it comes to like birth control or just like how we treat ladies, like the square underneath the hips, like, like we just don't even
Yeah.
talk about any of that. And so I definitely am with you. Like I want to go to a red tent, but I'm like a strong advocate for like, I not that I think, I always have to be careful when I try to outline this. Not that I think that women's rights need to be taken away. I just feel like I deserve better than the rights I have.
Well,
Like,
that, and I think it comes down to that big word, right? Choice.
yeah.
Like if that resonates with you, you go do it. If it doesn't, you don't have to.
Mhm.
Like I agree with you. I think when you get polarized on anything, then it gets a little hairy, It's like,
Yep.
do you? I mean,
Yeah.
we say that in other things, why not in that too? It's like, I don't know. Just I don't know. As long as you're not harming yourself or anyone else,
Yep.
like actually harming them, not just offending them, I mean harming, right? Then go
Do
do that.
you? Yeah. You do
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Now, here, this is how my brain works. So now I'm gonna like pivot to another story of
Oh.
one time I was at, okay, I don't want to like out anybody in this, but I was not in the United States. Okay, now I'm going like it's not even gonna matter. A few years ago, I was in Jamaica, and all of us girls were sitting around in our swimsuits and that kind of stuff. And there was one girl, and I love her to death, but she just wasn't very confident, and like, I don't know, whatever stories she's been told and telling herself. But she's just like, she just wasn't confident, but she was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we got talking about that one day, and I'm like, here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care. If somebody doesn't like how I look, they don't have to look at me. But I'm not gonna sit in Jamaica when it's like 90 degrees, and I'm gonna wear a swimsuit and I'm gonna be cool. It's not really about, like what I don't know. It's not about anything other than just trying to be like, comfortable and not die of heat stroke or something. I don't know. But I'm just like, here's the thing. They don't have to look at you. If they don't like how you look, they can choose to look the other way. And I think that that goes with everything too, right? Like, and I try not to I don't really want to say everything, but most things we have choice, right? Like if we don't like what's on that station, we can change it. If we don't like what's on social media, don't go on it. If we don't like whatever, we don't have to. I totally took it a totally different way.
You did, but
Same but different.
that's awesome though. And I love that. And that's where I, like I don't know, I just have like I feel like now I'm like you. I have all these thoughts. I'm like, "Oh my god, yes. Yeah, like yeah, just change, just do differently."
Exactly. I think this episode could be like the popcorn conversation, because I feel like we're gonna go all over in different directions.
So before you brought up choice, I was going to say I don't think women should be allowed to drive. And my car is a testimony to the fact that I don't think I should be allowed to drive. And it's not because I think like women should not like because we should never have allowed them. It's like because I deserve better. Like somebody should be chauffeuring me to go pick up my groceries. I should not have to have the negative impact of the stress of driving.
Okay, yes, here we go. Here's another one. I have an
Tell me.
opinion on this.
Please, please.
I love to drive only when I want to drive. Like,
Yes.
I love a solo road trip. There's nothing better than that. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I just like to drive my car.
Hmm.
But there's another side of me that absolutely hates driving, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'll go with, but I'm not driving. Or now my big thing is I've been driving since I've been 16, right?
Oh.
I'm 50. I've been putting my own gas in my car all these years. I want full service gas stations back. I don't want to pump my gas. I want somebody pump it for me.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
Not always. Like I want the choice. Like if I want to pump my gas, I can go there. But if I want my gas pumped, I think that should be an option.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I always said too, like, I don't even know if this is appropriate because I haven't watched this movie for a long, long time either. So I don't know what maybe the messaging really was about. But did you watch Driving Miss Daisy?
No, but I hear that a lot.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't wait to have someone drive me around.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It got a little hairy when my kids started driving, but now that they can drive, oh yeah, let them drive. I'll sit in the back seat too. I don't have to
Yes.
sit. I don't have to sit shotgun.
No. God,
I want to
no.
look important. Wow,
Yeah.
who's that?
Yes. Yeah. See? Yep. and drive me right to that red tent where I could have like charcuterie board, wine all day.
Exactly. Exactly. And then I don't know, just a break from life. Maybe they had something going there.
Yeah.
Maybe it
Yeah.
wasn't all that bad.
Maybe it wasn't. So back to the moon and having choice
Yeah,
now
here we
that
go.
we're coming, yeah. Do
Yep,
you maybe what would be a good question since I just said choice? Do you think that we have free will, we have choice?
100%.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that I always would have said that.
Oh.
In this stage of my life, I currently believe that
Oh.
100%.
Why do you think you wouldn't have always said that?
Um, well, I don't know. I think it's the messaging once again, or like the self-limiting belief things that I had going on in my head, or just different experiences shaped that way of thinking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And so I think though all my life that I can remember anyways, I feel like I've always been a critical thinker. You know? I feel like I always had like this gut knowing that there was something more. Like, Heather, whatever you're thinking or believing, that doesn't always have to be true. And I would say that still to this day, like there aren't too many things I think are absolute truths. And so, I remember growing up and we were probably, I guess I would have been considered middle class, I suppose. Like we weren't upper middle class or lower class, we're just class. But there were just still things, I had friends and we had, like things on TV. Like I definitely saw that there were things I didn't have. And I guess I just always thought I never would. Like I never thought I had the choice to like actually be a millionaire. I'm not suggesting I am a millionaire yet, but I know it's possible.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Manifestation. That's another one. Yeah. I was thinking free will in like the concept of like we don't have any choice and that kind of stuff. But yeah, even the manifestation
Oh,
part, I
oh
feel like
wait. No, back up. Tell me more. What did you mean then? If I took that a different way, see? We have tell me. What did you mean?
well, so and this is another part of where I feel like even like when you started getting in between this, like I feel like there's like two really big extremes in our Western culture of like there's like I would say they say like the woo woo or like the manifestation, the stars, all this emotion, positive vibes. And then there's like, oh, God has a plan and God's directive and, follow Jesus Christ. And there's like this, like all rules and order and structure type thing. There's like a giant gray line and no one, like some people kind of dabble in between, but no one ever really like if they could just like connect the dots because I genuinely feel like I've done a lot of listening and hearing of both parties and I think they do genuinely go together. I think people don't know or study enough or are willing to like even having belief in something is a choice. I can just believe to choose that, right? Like or I can choose to believe that, sorry. Like if people just stepped away from their emotional baggage about either topic and really just tried to connect like no, some of these things over here sound just like these things over here or these things sound just like these things over here, like you would see that they do genuinely very much connect. I feel like I've learned or I've seen in my experience, maybe I'm wrong.
Um no, well, I don't think you're wrong. I would agree with you. I think that I'm deep in thought now. You got my brain working here. I do think there is free will. I can see why it's gray sometimes because at the end of the day, I also believe what is meant for us will find us, right? But I think here's the thing. Are we noticing it? Do you know what I mean? Like, we sometimes, I think, how do I want to say that? I don't even know how to articulate. This is a really good, I wish I would have thought about this a little more. But my end thing is, I do believe we have free will.
Okay.
I do think that we co-create
Oh
with a higher
yeah.
power.
I see what you're
I
saying.
do, yeah. And I do believe that, yes, there is probably, my belief is there is a higher power at hand, and that we have this contract that we have signed up for even before we were born. So I can understand why free will kind of might sound like it doesn't exist then, like it was just all planned out. But it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the person that talks about this because I listen to a lot of stuff on different stuff. But basically, it's like a GPS, right? Like, I'm still going to get from point A to point B, but I have like 30 different ways to get there. I get to choose how I get there. I could take the straight route that is like hell's bells, I'm there. I could take the scenic route. I could take the scary route, like whatever, right? And that is my free will. There's a book, I don't know if you've ever read it. It's called Conversations with God. Have you ever read
No,
it? With
no.
Neil Donald, I think it's Walsh, like Walsch. It's super good. But he talks about in there this idea of free will. And I haven't read it for a while now, but I do believe that when he's having this conversation with God, right, that they talk about this idea of free will.
Oh.
And there is. So I don't know. I think it's a big concept. I think it's a big conversation. And I feel like I would love to have that be another topic that we actually talk about. But I
Yeah.
think I have to like sit in that a little bit and think of that, right? I just think that free will is this way in which we can co-create with God or universe, whatever you want to say, right? It's allowing, because humans are this amazing thing. We have a brain, right? And the brain does so many things. And so because we are experiencing this human experience here, we also can create our own reality. I don't know. Are you agreeing so far, or like what? I don't know. I don't
Yes.
know how to read your nodding. Like,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I also think this conversation is great. I wrote down so that next time I wrote it on a giant post-it note. You can't see it, but behind me I have. No, this is Heather and free will. So the next time we meet, we will talk
yeah.
more in depth about free will. But to tangent off of what you're bringing up, my question would be: do you know, or do you believe in the recycled soul theory?
Well, add that to another topic. I honestly, I don't know. I would say
Have you heard about it
there,
before?
yes.
Oh, okay.
You mean like how like we'll die but then we come back, like reincarnation?
Okay,
Or
so
no?
I've heard it. Yes, see, this is where I was like, there's things over here that are like this thing, but this thing is way different than this thing. I've heard
Crabby and irritable.
no, but no, no, no.
Okay. Not the same. Okay. So school me here. I don't know. I guess so you're not talking reincarnation.
So I've heard on like I guess maybe you would call it more like Eastern kind of philosophy of like being reincarnated, and I had an art teacher in undergrad at the University of Winona. He
Yeah.
was the best art teacher ever, by the way.
Who was it?
he I don't even remember his name. He was
Was he tall? Was he bald?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
He was more of like a older Asian gentleman.
Oh, no, totally different.
Okay, but
Not the same.
I do know a tall bald guy. Do you know like I think his name's
He
Michael
taught art.
Knox.
Huh?
Knox?
No, I don't think that
No.
was his name.
Oh.
That art, I took art appreciation, mind-blowing
Oh,
class. Like,
good.
I was writing down stuff, like, here, I
It's
know
good.
this is how it goes with me.
I love it.
Like, there were so many, like, deep thoughts and, like, like, it was just mind-blowing. It wasn't just art, you know? Anyways, that's another subject, art. I wish I could find that notebook. I think I ended up throwing it, though, because it got damaged with water. Kinda makes me sad.
So
Anyways,
my art teacher was talking about being reincarnated in like an Eastern philosophy kind of way about like you if you do good things and you're a nice person, you'll come back a cow. But if you do really bad things, you're gonna come back a doorknob. So don't be a doorknob before your time. And I loved that man so much. And then, so like, but the Christian theory that I've heard is that we have recycled souls, and that's how God knows you before you're even born. In this concept of like, you come here with a plan or a purpose and a meaning. In the recycled soul theory, from what I've gathered, I haven't done any research or anything else. It's just that like your soul needs to learn a lesson and repeatedly comes back to learn new lessons or to drive forward this plan. And that's why everybody says like God has a plan for you, he has a plan for the world, because you eventually learn the plan, or you learn parts of the plan and what you need to do and where you need to go and what your soul needs to be whole. And then
yeah.
you come back and you relive things.
I do. I mean, if you're asking for a hard answer today, I would say I would 100% believe that. I'm not quite sure that I would agree with the cow and
The
the
doorknob thing.
the doorknob. I gotta sit with that one for a little bit. Fascinating though, because to me that almost, hell yeah, I don't know, but
Because
I
cows are
do.
like sacred in the Eastern, like in
Yeah,
India and stuff, they're like sacred. So that's like the highest tier of what you could come back as. But and then like a doorknob's just like it's just nothing. You're just
it's just
used.
nothing.
Yeah, because you're so bad. You but like and I don't know too much. I think he was
Yeah,
doing a lot of that to be like funny because we're obviously like young girls in this art class and he's like just
right,
be nice to each other. But like
right. No,
I'm sure there's more to it.
I'm sure there's a story behind a bigger story, and now I'm a little intrigued by that. But I do believe that we are here to learn something. I do believe that there are people that have this is not their first time around, and that they're old souls, right? And I do believe that our life has a lesson. But here's the thing that, how do I want to say this? Like, I want to know, and this is like another part of me that just needs to have answers, right? That humanness.
Yeah.
Because I do believe also that we pick our parents. I do believe that we have, like, we are this energy, speaking with the energy, like and God energy, divine energy, right? And so we came up with this plan. And at that time I knew I was all knowing, right? Just like the divine. That's the divine within in me. But then all of a sudden, the day I was born on March 25th, 1976, that went bye-bye. And now I have no memory of it, and I gotta put the pieces together to like figure out why I'm here, right? If I miss the boat, I think I'll be back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but then sometimes I sit in my thoughts and I think, like this whole idea of what's my purpose and why am I here? Those are big questions that we sit and,
Huge.
yeah, and oftentimes I think that I'll speak for myself, but I don't think I'm the only one. That we think it's always this really grand thing,
Yeah.
this big, amazing thing. But maybe it was just, maybe I was only here to be on this planet in a human experience, to ask a lot of questions, and to be on a podcast with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all great and fine and dandy, but I'm not moving mountains.
Yeah.
I'm not dividing seas, and maybe my purpose is never going to be something so grandiose like that. But isn't this just as like important? Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And actually, it's so crazy that you even bring that up because I just did a podcast like 2 days ago with I have an older sister who's like 10 years older than me. And we don't, because she's 10 years older than me, our lives are very, very different. And I don't actually like feel like I know her at all. And we live in two different completely states. And so I was asking her questions and I was like, I talk to business owners, fitness business owners all the time. And I feel like people constantly are either like, you should absolutely own a business and get to experience like entrepreneurship, or they're like, not everybody needs to be a business owner. Like there is no gray, there's no in between. Like people are like very divided. And she was like, somebody one time expressed to me, I think she said a mentor of hers, that you can't have everybody be a business owner. Nobody can absolutely just, do all the things, first of all. And we need people who are the consumers or who are the employees of the company, or like the people who do the smaller things are just as important as those who own the business.
Yeah.
So
A bug's life.
yes, yeah. So she's like, so you can't have this idea that everybody needs to be a business owner, because there are going to be people who need to do the other things.
Yeah, and they're vital.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one would ever have a business,
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's
right?
what when you were like, what if this is just it? Like what if I'm just here? I'm not moving mountains or anything like that. Like I'm on this podcast. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like even though we're not creating miracles last I checked in the last half hour." Like
But but I challenge that. Why is this not a miracle?
yeah.
I mean, up until what, a month
Few
ago? I don't even
months
remember
ago.
what day it was that you like reached out to me. I was gonna say
Yeah.
you ran
Friend
into
to
me.
me. Yeah.
You didn't. But it's like, isn't it a miracle
Yeah.
how we came together? I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I never thought about you until I thought about you. And now I think about you all the time, actually, because I'm like, I wonder what actually, I'm going to start writing down on my little, I wonder what we could talk about on this.
Yes. Do it. Do it. Yeah, because I
Pancake.
yes. Alice Pancake. That's my best friend says that's my alias. If I write another
Wait,
book.
wait.
What?
How do you pronounce your name?
It's German, so it's
No, your first name.
Alyse.
Oh, I thought you said Alice. And I'm like, wait,
Yes.
what?
Yeah. No. So my best friend, like Alice, isn't like Alice in Wonderland, because you just
Okay.
like never know, and she like eats all the things, right? And then pancake, because my last name is German, but it means pancake.
Yes.
Y-
Okay, I'm following now. I thought, oh my gosh, here I'm calling her the wrong name. It's Alice, for God's sakes. Oh
No,
my gosh. Okay,
no.
sorry.
My favorite part actually is before I was married, I had a different name, and my husband and my family will continue to always call me my original name. And so anybody that meets my husband, I always have to tell them like, "Oh, we need to have the conversation because he means well and I'm not offended." And then I had my older sister on for my podcast, and there were like two times I could tell that she wanted to say my other name, and then she stopped, and then the rest of the podcast I could tell that she just genuinely tried really hard not to even mention my first name at all. Any name I have no longer exists. I don't even have a name. We
But that's
just
funny.
moved on. And she called me later, she's like, I hope it's okay. I started panicking if I was even pronouncing Alyse right. I was just so beside myself. And I was like, you're totally fine, you're perfect, you're yourself.
So what's the other name? What do you mean?
Oh. Well, won't that be a cliffhanger for people to tune in next week?
Sorry, we've run out of time.
Yeah, on a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. But to magically get here with you, I agree. It's like so crazy because I'm all the way in Winona. You're in Winona and I'm in Wyoming. I always get the W's mixed up. Um, and to just not even think about each other, and now we think about each other. Now we're here. That's crazy. I think recycled souls is like very much very interesting, and I kind of believe it after my mom, I feel like, really solidified this for me because my mom went to like great extreme lengths to prove that we are from the people who came from the Mayflower. I guess there's like in Minnesota there's like a whole society behind it, and you guys get together for like Thanksgiving and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, yeah, it's like a big deal. Like
I'm,
ancestry.com has people being crazy, I tell you that.
I guess I didn't come on the Mayflower. My ancestors, that be. I've
Yeah.
never been invited. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, so on ancestry.com, like you like go back so far in lineage and everything that like if you can prove that your family came from this lineage in the people from the Mayflower, that you guys like get together on Thanksgiving and a bunch of other stuff. It's like really crazy. I don't know if it's anywhere else outside of Minnesota. So
Fascinating.
yeah, and so because she did all of that, at one point, I think like almost all of so it's me and a few of my sisters. We don't have any brothers, so all of my brothers are my brother-in-laws. My mom, I don't know if she like went on a spree of like ancestry vibes, but like went through all of their histories and found that my husband,
In-laws?
yeah, yeah, and found that my husband also comes from a lineage, but she didn't like go through all the like, you know, top-notch secret stuff to like make sure it's solidified. But like she's like, I'm pretty sure from everything that I've done that he comes from somebody on the Mayflower. And I'm like, for how
Are you
little?
related?
I hope not. I don't think so. I pray to God she would have told me. Oh my God.
Maybe
Man.
that's why she didn't go any further. Just kidding. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
That would have been crazy. But I'm like, how crazy is that? Out of the small amount of people that moved from the Mayflower to here, that
Yeah.
like at another point in time, I'm now here with you again. Like that's
Yeah. Okay. So that begs the question, right? And I've had lots of conversations about this. Haven't you like met someone or see someone and you're like, gosh, I feel like we've met before, or they're
mhm.
so familiar. Like there's certain people that are just so familiar and you have like all this stuff in common. It's like, I don't know. It gets me thinking a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And I think about that when you say that. I spark an idea of like I have another sister that I did not grow up with. I didn't know until I was like 21, and she's 15 years older than me. There's a lot of women related to me, okay? Um and
You would fill that red tent.
I tell you what. So I met her and I spent a week with her and her family. She had 2 kids at the time. And there were so many things that me and her did that even her kids were like, that's like exactly what my mom does. That's like exactly what she would order. That's exactly what she would drink. And there was like we had the same favorite band. Like we could have been identical twins. But
Yeah.
we have 2 different moms. So it's like it is so bizarre how when you said familiar, like all literally we look so much the same, we dress so much the same, we obsess about the same singer in the same band, like
Okay.
massively wild to me.
Here's a trippy thought.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure someone out there talks about this.
Yeah.
Like what if you're actually the same person, caught at different times, and she's just 15 years older than you,
That's
or of yourself now? Whoa. Do you think that's
whoa.
possible? But here's the thing, like I don't even say that anything is impossible or that I can't believe it or that there's so many absurd things that just blow my mind every day. Like I don't know. I can't say with certainty.
Mhm.
That isn't possible? I don't know, because freaky shit happens all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And we always think it's a bizarre until and impossible until the story comes out. And then I guess it wasn't impossible. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's what I think about with like manifestation, or when you said I'm not a millionaire yet. I think about like, especially in like business and like entrepreneurship, like I feel like there's a lot out there about like you need to be able to see yourself being successful. And there's like this, I think some people refer to it as like the fourth dimension of like you're living and breathing something right now, but like in the fourth dimension, you need to like think about yourself like, how does that millionaire you like look like, sound like, enjoy, food or music, and how do they act, how do they interact with others, and being able to, I don't know if it's like bring it to you or like make it choose you, or like you have to like leave your old you behind, and like the current present day actions are just past decisions happening in the current event. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I
I
feel
do.
like,
I'm following you.
okay, I feel like even just trying to explain it to you, I'm like, this sounds really crazy.
No, I don't think it. I mean, I'm totally following you, but I would argue that we're manifesting all the time.
All the time.
All the time. We're even manifesting the things we don't want,
Yes. Yeah, that's why you
right?
have to be careful with, I try to tell my clients that so much. You have to be so careful with even what is the unconscious mind and what
Yeah.
is that you're saying to yourself.
Yeah, because if we weren't constantly manifesting as we speak, this pen wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have nothing
Mhm.
because how did I get this then? How did I get this?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
manifested it. I like somehow got it. And we never say like how you're going to get it, right? Well, I actually earned some money and I chose to buy this and now it's a thing.
Yeah.
Now I have it.
Yeah.
I don't have my $1,000,000 yet because I'm probably still thinking like I can't even fathom what $1,000,000 would look like. Like I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's hard to imagine what $100 would look like. Okay, I actually this is kind of funny. So my husband and I joke about this all the time because we met 16 years ago and I was living a very different life. And I'm not living necessarily a different life because of him. I'm living a different life because of the work I've done
Mm.
on myself, right?
Mhm.
But there was a time, like, honest to God, if I had a $10 bill, like $10 bills to me was like $100. Like, I loved a $10 bill. I thought they were so pretty. And it seemed like for whatever reason, I never really saw a lot of $10 bills. It was a 1, a 5, or a 20. So I became like loving the $10 bill. Okay, now this sounds, well, I don't know how this sounds, but I do mean this like in the most humble way ever. Now, like, if you go in my wallet, there's nothing but hundreds in there. Like, somehow my tens added some zeros.
Zeros. Yeah.
And so it's my husband, well, it was Scott is his name, because that's what I call him. I call him Scott. I don't call him my husband all the time. Scott has a name. He's his own person, and he's
Sure.
real.
Sure.
But he's like, oh my gosh, like, where do you get these? And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I
I
manifested
have
them right in
hundreds
my
now.
pockets.
Like
Yeah.
the 1, the 10, that's like child's play. Give me hundreds.
Give me 100.
And I do mean this to be funny, but it is true at the same time. But it's nothing magical I did. I don't know what I did. I guess if you rub two tens together really fast, I don't know. But yeah, I mean there's things that have surprised the heck out of me that I've actually gotten in life. And some of it's pretty sweet. Most of it's pretty sweet stuff. Like I have a really good life. I love my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah. I feel the same way. And there's so much of it that I'm like, that's so crazy. So my husband's like 4 years older and he's a Marine veteran. And I'm like, what were the chances that we were going to school at the same time, and that we were both going to the same school gym at the same time, like, and just like how, like, crazy that is, because
Yeah.
while I was graduating high school, you were in Afghanistan, so I don't know how we ended up with the same choices.
Right. Right. And then there's a little bit of the fate, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, like things are just lining up serendipitously.
Oh, I was gonna bring up, because you were explaining free will, or this, yeah, serendipity. I don't know why that sparked that into me, but it was like the scientific part. I feel like I've heard when it comes to like free will or choice or fate, even, or manifestation, is just that like there's only like a particular number of chances that something could happen. And so then, like, statistically speaking, these things were the only options to happen. So then some people say that you don't have any free will whatsoever, because statistically speaking, those are the things that are having to happen anyways.
I mean, I suppose that's one way to look at it. I don't think it's wrong, but I don't think it's the only way. If that works for someone to think of, like, I don't. Statistics could be so skewed to me. I mean, you know what I mean?
The Minnesota
Like,
Nice. I think you're wrong, but I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
I'm not, no. I am not saying I think they're wrong.
I think you're
I'm
wrong.
saying they could be right. I'm winking. I don't know. I mean, I suppose that could be true, but I do believe that the other is true as well. And I think that that's the gumminess or the grayness about a lot of the woo-woo stuff that I talk about, because it can seem very hypocritical. But I believe that you can have both. You can have someone that lives by stats and they will prove that to be right all the time. And then you're going to have somebody else that believes wholeheartedly in whatever else, and they will give you example upon example upon example to validate why their method works. Do you? And I'm just saying, if you're buying into a way of doing something and it's not working for you, could you just allow yourself to give yourself permission to dabble in a different way to see if that works for you? And then if that doesn't, pivot or combine them. Like, I don't think it's just a one way of anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Free
I
will.
Free will. Statistically speaking, you have the choice that you can change.
Yes, I sincerely believe that. But there was something you said that, shoot, it escaped me. It's okay. It'll come back if it's meant to be. I don't remember what I was going to say. Other than the fact of like how this brings me back. I'm going to go back to when you were talking about how you and your husband were like 4 years apart on these different whatever.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Winona, Minnesota, pretty small,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I graduated in 94. My ex-husband graduated in 95, and my current husband graduated in 95. They went to school together. They knew each other. I dated my first husband in high school. We were high school sweethearts. I never met Scott. Now here's the thing. Did our paths cross? And I was just so, oh my gosh, in love with my boyfriend that I never saw anyone else. I don't know. But I don't remember him. I have no recollection of him the whole time we were in high school, nor the time after high school until we met. So again, what is the chances that we should have crossed paths sometime in our life, that we knew each other from the 91 or 92 up until 2000 whatever, right? Then when we meet and we start talking and like telling about ourselves, we're like, we had friends in common or people that we knew. We attended things, like we both went to Brooks and Dunn's first concert in La Crosse Civic Center. Never passed. Never
Never crossed.
passed the, yeah. the
Yeah.
path, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now he claims he does remember me, but I don't think he does. I was so irrelevant in high school. Like, actually, two of my friends from school, one I graduated with, the other one she graduated a year ahead of me. The three of us a couple years ago, we went and got an Airbnb and spent the whole weekend together. My one friend, her name is Heather, she brought yearbooks and we were looking through yearbooks. Other than my little class photo, I was nowhere in that yearbook. And I'm like, where the hell was I? And they were talking about things they did. And I'm like, well, what did I do? Well, I know what I did. I was working all the time. Then there was a period of time when I probably was doing a typical high school thing, but we don't need to talk about
We don't talk
that.
about those things.
It's like it
Those
never happened.
choices opted later.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, life is crazy like that. So I'm fairly certain our paths had to have crossed at some point, but because neither one of us were looking for the other one, we never noticed. And so then going back to my one question about like if you ever meet someone familiar or like you feel like you should know them kind of thing, it brings up the question of like deja vu, like what does that even mean? And maybe just maybe Scott and I did. Maybe our lockers were next to each other. Maybe we passed each other in the hallway at school every day, and my brain is taking the snapshot, right? But my conscious awareness is not putting two and two together. I don't know. How are you going to title this podcast? This conversation? Like seriously, we are all over the place.
I know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to title it with, but I think it's really good for especially like business owners and fitness other owners to like really start understanding cuz when you especially when I want to work more on like the psychology aspect of it, when you get down to the nitty-gritty about like someone's values, their beliefs, their value boundary, and then like just how they act, like that impacts the rest of their life. And I don't think enough people spend enough time to question, why do I have this value, why do I have this belief, why do I have, all these boundaries that I've set up. They just, they've probably learned it from their parents, or every single modality in trauma relations has to do with what you learned between the ages of 5 and 11 and how it scarred you for the rest of your life, and that's why you act the way you do right now. And I want to help people just be able to like detach from that, or let that go, or figure out like, oh yeah, that's why I have this boundary here, or that's why I have this value, and pick new ones, or pick something that works, or choose to do differently, because clearly what we're doing isn't helping the society. And
Yeah.
I've been a strong advocate for a long time, in like after learning psychology and counseling for the last 10 years, I feel like for a society that knows a lot about psychology, we are of the worst mental health.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, clearly we are doing absolutely something horribly wrong. So,
So with all the people that you talk to, any thoughts to what's happening? Like why that is? Why might that be?
well, so the reality is money is made in suffering, right? Like you spend more money if you're doing worse, right? Otherwise you wouldn't spend, I mean, you spend the money if you're happy too, but it's not as much, right? And so I always say, or had said to my bosses, I'm in the business to not be in business. Like the sooner I can teach you skills and abilities and tools so that you can go live your life back out in society, the better I am as a citizen in that society, because now you're able to function like a normal person. We're all able to function normally Because if
Yeah.
you're creating drama or you're not well, you're going to go shoot up a school or go, cause drama at the grocery store or cause an accident or whatever, right? Like that's going to impact me and my life and how I'm living. So I'm going to do better emotionally, stably if you're doing better, and it's in my best interest for you to do better as quick as possible. This concept that like, oh, we you should be in therapy working on yourself for 10 plus years of your life, I think is doing people a disservice. I think people should consult, absolutely. Like if you've not learned how to trust yourself, you absolutely go have more consulting on your choices and what you're doing. But the reality is we need way more community in everything than we do just another professional telling people how to live their lives.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that's just my opinion, is that we community, even in like rehab or suicide hospitals, like it has been the number one answer. So why don't we just implement that into like the rest of society?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all that was great. And yes, it's a lot, but I mean,
It is a
it's
lot.
true.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, no, no. But I also think that humans make things so complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the really only difference between a business owner and someone that is working for the business
Mm-hmm.
is a choice.
Yeah.
Somebody decided to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could sit here and I think I talked about this the first time I was on, was like, I never thought, this was never my dream. This was never my thought. Honestly, if you went and interviewed people that I know or people that are in my life from a long time ago to current, I don't know that they would have ever said, yeah, yeah, like going back to high school, when people say, who do you think is going to be the most successful or who do you think is going to be whatever? My name never appeared in any of that. I pretty much can guarantee you that there isn't somebody that would have been like, oh yeah, I knew she was going to own her own business someday. Now, the only difference is I did it. I chose to do it.
Yeah.
And I know this is so complex, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, we make it complicated. We get stuck and we get disconnected from our true being. That doesn't set me apart from anyone else. I was going to say in this room, but in this world, right?
Who else is
There's
in here?
nothing, there is nothing that is so special about me that made me get to where I am versus not.
Yeah.
It was all choice making.
Choices.
Sometimes they were really, really hard. Sometimes I didn't even know that I had a choice and I didn't feel like I had a choice. But even that in itself is a choice,
Yeah.
right? So I can continue to sit and believe that I don't have free will. And I can sit and believe it and say I don't have a choice. I can sit and say, well, I'm a woman and because I'm a woman, I can't. I can sit and say, well, the moon is in full moon. And so now I'm going to go like howl and like cause a havoc in my community. Or I could choose not to. I think humans complicate things, and I think that we get so on so many for so many like things, right? Like we have so many influences. So like primary caregivers, environment, social circles, and all those things, right? So we have like this world around us in which we choose to operate in. We've all decided that we are going to be playing the game of this system. Sometimes the system isn't going to work for us and we just sit and play small and we get told like, well, if you don't have this, you can't, like the saying, it takes money to make money. Not necessarily. I had $1 and now I have 100. I'm being
I'm
flippant a
gonna
little
try.
bit, but you
I'm
know
gonna
what I'm
try that
saying? Like, I
rubbing
think,
technique.
let me know when it works.
Oh, I will.
But I do. I think when it comes down to it, like we complicate it, and sometimes it's valid
Mm-hmm.
of the complexities of it. I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
it's easy or it's just whatever. I'm just saying maybe, just maybe, we have to quit believing the things that keep us small.
Yeah.
and the things that keep us from doing what we really, really want. And we need to critically think and we need to examine that and ask ourselves, but is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I'm a firm believer there aren't too many things that are actually true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I knew this conversation was going to be important, cuz at minimum I think people need to hear more conversations where even if me and you absolutely disagreed, that like at least now we can start to hear different sides and like different concepts and different perspectives, and then start to be able to ask ourselves, like, why do I believe that? Why am I like this? Why is this way? And start to at least open up
Yeah.
that idea about, like, maybe I can choose to do differently.
I'd love to find a topic that we don't agree on. Only because I don't know, and this is where I feel like maybe I am like Switzerland a little bit. Like there isn't too much like everything I just spewed in the last 2 minutes. Somebody could come on and like give me another perspective and I'd be like, "Yep, that's probably true too." But I like this truth because it's working for me,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to believe this. And it doesn't mean like I don't have challenges and it doesn't mean that I don't go through shit. I'm going through shit right now,
That
right?
back
Like
pain is
the
real.
back pain is real. And then I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, there's a lot of reasons to why that back pain is probably a thing, but I do know it's temporary. And I do know I'm not going to let it like hold me back from doing what I really, really want. I think my desire needs to be more than the obstacle in which I'm trying to create. And if the obstacles are way bigger than the desire to do something, then I need to sit and look at the challenge, right? Like, why is this a challenge? Is this a challenge I put on myself? Is it a challenge that's put upon me? Where's the loophole? Sometimes we got to find the loophole. And as long as I'm not dead yet, I guess I'm going to keep trying to find the loophole to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're you said Switzerland, but I think you're in that small part of, I would say, like, our part of minority that's like very much okay with, like, I'm gonna believe what I believe, and I'm okay that you don't believe that, and it's gonna be okay that we're different.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's okay
And
that
like
your your
yeah,
existence doesn't frighten me or offend me.
right. And I think that most conversations that Scott and I have, we have differing ideas about most things in life, but we coexist. It's like in our arguments that we might have, I'll be like, I'm not asking you to like jump ship of like what your steadfast in your belief is and what works for you. I'm just saying, can you see a different perspective? You don't have to agree with me.
Hmm.
You don't have to say you're right, honey.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, like, can you see
Yeah.
why this can be also true? And then vice versa. That's how, like, when he says some of the heinous things he says, and I look at him sideways, like, say, what? I had to remind myself of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to agree with him,
Hmm.
but can I see where he's coming from? Yeah, usually I can. There isn't too much that we get hung up on. I love a good debate.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so good. Okay. Usually my episodes are about an hour long, so I apologize for everybody listening that this is a little bit longer, but hopefully they've enjoyed it as much as I think me and you
Yeah,
have enjoyed
yeah.
talking.
Half of it was just my rants, so I apologize. I will focus next time.
It's because the moon is in
It's the full moon.
full moon. Mars
Well,
or Mercury's in retrograde.
no, well, it actually is, and in May we will experience two full moons, and the first full moon is May 1st. I forget when the second one is. It's at the end of May, obviously, because we
Obviously.
need to have a full cycle. But we can feel the moon's energy 3 days before and 3 days after. And I am woo enough that I will be making moon water. So, charge those crystals, get out there, dance naked, barefoot. It's great. I'm not doing that part, but maybe barefoot. No one needs to see this outside. All right, different podcast. Sorry. Anyways, it's always a great time to be with you. So
Oh, that's good. It's
let me
been a great
know.
time to be with you.
Yeah.
So, people, if you're listening, this is probably going to launch out in May since it's the end of April. I am trying to figure out how to like end these things a lot differently, and being able to tell people like, hey, if you're interested in joining my founders club that I have created, where other founders,
Ooh.
business owners, fitness owners are getting together to have these kind of conversations, work on their future self while addressing their past self, and then having support for their present self. I am 100% here for you, and we need to have those conversations. So please reach out to me, DM me, check out my book on Amazon, Ignite Your Gym for your burnt out self. Otherwise, I am looking at doing pre-orders for my next book, which on all the drafts says we all bitch, but I'm sure it will be more PG than that when I release it. So keep an eye out for that. Everybody else, thank you so much for your time. Heather, thank you for your time. And I hope everybody else subscribes, do all the social media things, share this with your best friend if you also think the moon affects you. All right. Bye for now.
Bye bye.